Good morning, my little fam bam. How are you all? I hope you guys are safe and sound at your places, and I'm very sure you all have done great in first term exams. So, guys, first term exams are over. We are preparing your results. So, let's talk about our second term online lectures. Well, guys, this is going to be your very first lecture of Social Studies Grade 4. Okay, so in this lecture, we are going to discuss our chapter number 9, and the name of the chapter is Natural Disasters. So, guys, let's gear up yourself because we are going to talk about our lecture number 1. Well, guys, before we start our today's lecture, let's talk about the overview of your lecture number 1. Guys, in this lecture, we are going to talk about, natural disaster. We will discuss what is disaster. And guys, we will also talk about the types of disasters, okay? I will tell you that how many types of disasters are over there, okay? And, but mainly we're going to focus on our very first type of natural disaster, and that is floods, okay? So we'll discuss the causes of the floods and the preventions as well, okay? So I'm very sure you have to just prepare yourself because this is going to be your very first lecture, and I'm sure you have missed my lectures, right? So I missed you too. Well, I missed you too. I missed the interaction which I used to do via this medium. Okay, so gear up yourself because we are going to start our lecture number 1. Girls and guys, let's move towards our next slide. Okay, first of all, before we talk about natural disasters, it is really very important to know what is disaster. Well, guys, a sudden accident or a natural catastrophe or problem or difficulty that causes great damage or loss of life, that is called disaster. Okay, you can say that anything which happened suddenly with you, or any accident which happened suddenly with you, because of any natural activity or any human activity, that is called disaster. Disaster brings great loss of life, sometimes great loss of property. Okay, so this is the definition of disaster. Let's repeat the definition of disaster again. Guys, a sudden accident or a natural catastrophe. Catastrophe mean difficulty, problem, or damage. Okay, that causes great damage or loss of life. That is called disaster. Okay, so there are different types of disasters. Today we will discuss all these types of disasters generally. First of all, there are two types of disaster which we are going to discuss today. That is a natural disaster or man-made disasters. Okay, so disasters are not always natural. Okay, sometimes they are caused or they happen because of human activity. So everything which is any damage or any catastrophe which happened because of human activity, that is called man-made disasters. Okay, and guys, natural disasters are always as any sudden activity, or you can say that any sudden nature call. Okay, nature call mean anything which happened naturally. Okay, which have, for example, floods are not always natural disasters. Sometimes they are because of any human activity. Okay, so because they happen sometime because of human activity. So guys, there are two types of disasters. First is a natural disaster, and the second type of disasters is man-made disaster or human-made disasters. Okay, so firstly we have discussed the definition of disaster. Let's repeat it again. A sudden accident or a natural catastrophe that causes great damage or loss of life, that is called disaster. Okay, for example, disaster can be natural, can be man-made. Okay, so the pictures which are right now glowing on your screen, they you can see different type of disasters over there. Okay, disasters are always, you can say that they're always, cause great damage. Always disasters cause great damage, whether they are natural or whether they are man-made. Okay, so how many types of disasters over there? There are two type of disasters. Okay, first type is a natural disasters and second type is called man-made disasters. Well, guys, after studying what is disaster, we have discussed the type of disasters. Okay, I told you that there are two types of disasters: natural disasters and man-made disasters. So let's talk about our very first type of disasters, that is natural disaster. Okay, well, guys, here is a question: what is a natural disaster? Well, guys, answer is an event resulting from natural processes of the earth that has harmful effect on human beings, animal, vegetation, and water creatures is called natural disaster. Guys, you can say that a natural disaster cannot be stopped, cannot be slowed, cannot be diverted. Okay, you can't say that whenever there is a natural disaster, any human experiment, any human effort can stop it. Guys, it's not possible. Okay, remember one thing, that a natural disaster cannot be stopped, cannot be slowed, or cannot be diverted. Okay, you cannot change the you can say that pattern of natural disaster. For example, if flood is in Gujranwala, you cannot send flood into Karachi or somewhere else. Okay, you can do it because that is a natural phenomena, that is something which has happened to you naturally. Okay, so guys, natural disasters are really very destructive, really very dangerous. You can't stop it, you can't slow them, you can't divert them. Okay, so I'm very sure you understand that what is a natural disaster. Okay, let's repeat the definition again. Guys, an event occurs due to the natural processes of the earth that has harmful mean very dangerous, or very, you can say that, destructive effects on human beings and all other creatures of the earth is called natural disaster. Well, guys, what comes in other creatures? All animals, all vegetations, and all the creatures which are under the water. Okay, they are called they comes in this category. So guys, natural disasters are equally affected, equally harmful for everything which is existing on the earth. Okay, for example, if there is a flood, so definitely floods are destructive, or you can say that offensive, not only for the human beings. Floods are equally destructive for vegetation. Okay, all the plants are going to be affected by this equally. Okay, so I hope you understand that what is a natural disaster. Let's repeat the definition third time. Guys, here is the definition right now on your screen. You may read with me. An event occurs due to the natural processes of the earth that has harmful effects on human beings and all other creatures of the earth is called natural disaster. Okay, so as I told you that a natural disaster cannot be stopped, cannot be slowed, cannot be diverted. Okay, guys, human and the capital resources and the advanced technology have been unable to stop any natural disaster, because guys, as I told you that natural disasters are very fast and very dangerous for everything which is existing on the earth. Okay, so I hope you understand that what is a natural disaster. Well, guys, always remember one thing, that disasters are not always natural. They are sometimes man-made as well. Okay, so natural disasters cannot be stopped, cannot be slowed, cannot be diverted. But man-made disasters can be stopped, can be diverted, and can be slowed. Okay, so in our book, only one type of disasters are mentioned, that is natural. But we will discuss, some other types of disasters as well. So firstly, we'll talk about, we have discussed firstly natural disasters, and now we are going to talk about man-made disasters. Well, guys, a man-made disaster is a disaster resulting from human intent, activity, or negligence or an error. Okay, you can say that any man-made disaster can be the result of any human intent or human ignorance or human negligence. Well guys, man-made disasters can be sometimes they can be intentionally done, they can be sometime not unintentionally done. Okay, you can't say that natural disasters are always sudden and man-made disasters are not sudden. They can be sudden as well, because sometimes they any human can become the cause of this disaster. Well, guys, you can say that man-made disasters also results great huge loss or great loss of life and property. Well, guys, we will talk about some natural disasters and some man-made disasters equally. Okay, so let's talk about it. Girls and guys, as I told you that there are two type of disaster. One is called natural and the second type is called man-made. Firstly, we have discussed the definition of natural disasters, and secondly, we have discussed the definition of man-made disaster. Well, let's talk about each of them separately. Okay. Well, guys, floods, cyclones, earthquake, volcanic process, and you can say that epidemics, and guys, sometime pandemics are natural. Okay. Sometime for example, that is COVID-19, which is right now going through. Okay, and we all are suffering through COVID-19. Well, guys, this virus, few people, according to the, you can say that, according to the reviews and the ideologies of few, group of people, according to them, that pandemic is not a natural disaster. Okay, few are saying that is a natural disaster, but according to, you can say that the World Survey, according to them, that is a man-made disaster. Okay, which is resulting because of human error or human negligence or human activity. Okay, so in the slide you can see on the right side there are man-made disaster, and on the left side there are natural disasters are mentioned. Okay, so guys, for example, let's talk about few of man-made disasters. Well, guys, air crash. Okay, which happened in Pakistan, I think, on Eid al-Fitr, right? Do you remember that PIA plane crashed? Okay, that was the that disaster happened because of human error. Okay, so that was the man-made disaster. Okay, man-made disasters are not done intentionally all the time. Sometimes they happen because of unintentionally unintentive you can say that decision of someone. Okay, so guys, air crash, sinking ship, train accident, building collapse, bridges collapse, and bomb blasts. But sometimes, guys, because of the bio war or nuclear war, any disaster which happened because of human activity or human negligence, that comes in the category of man-made disasters. Okay, so for example, any nuclear attack can be a disaster, and that disaster will come in the category of man-made disasters. Okay, so on the right side there are man-made disasters, and on the left side there are natural disasters. Well, guys, in natural disaster, few listed main disasters are floods, earthquakes, cyclones, or you can say that avalanches. Okay, so we'll discuss today in this lecture. Firstly, we'll talk about floods, and guys, in our furthermore lectures we will discuss each of the disaster, each of main disaster individually. Okay, so let's move towards our next slide. Well, guys, as I told you that we will discuss, firstly natural disasters, and guys, in the category of natural disaster, firstly we will discuss about our main disasters. Okay, and in our today's lecture we'll focus on floods. Okay, and in our furthermore lectures we'll discuss each of main natural disaster equally. Okay, and separately. Let's move towards our slide. Okay, well, firstly, we'll talk about floods. Well, guys, what is flood? An overflow of large amount of water beyond its limits is called flood. Guys, you can say that due to the global warming, a huge quantity of snow melts on the mountains. And guys, the melting snow definitely raises the water level in the rivers. And when a large amount of water causes the rivers to overflow the banks and to spread, the water in the nearby areas and dry areas, this process is called flood. Guys, floods, are much harmful and very destructive for human settlement. And guys, those areas which are near, which have, crops, they are very dangerous and very harmful for those areas. Well, guys, Pakistan suffers heavy loss due to the floods in every year. And my one of my family, family which was settled in Rawalpindi, they also suffered a lot because of floods. Okay, that was my pupu's house, and flood, because of the flood, her every settlement turned into, you can say that, a desert. Okay, her house, her every stuff in the house, everything demolished because of the flood. Okay, so guys, as I told you that Pakistan suffers heavy loss due to the floods every year. Okay, with the help of one instrument, the weather forecasters forecast the upcoming floods, and guys, that instrument is called radar. Okay, radar is the instrument which tells us about upcoming floods and storms. Well, guys, as I told you that natural disasters cannot be stopped, cannot be slowed, or cannot be diverted. So you can say that whenever there are weather forecaster tells you about upcoming floods or storms, you can take some preventions. Okay, you can take some precautions. You cannot stop the floods, but at least you can take care of yourself, you can take care of your family. When someone tells you about bad news that there are floods going to come in this area or that area, or there is an earthquake, what you can do, you cannot stop natural disaster. As I told you, that is a very strong statement. You cannot stop any natural disaster, any natural activity, any natural destructive activity. You cannot stop them. Okay, but at least you can take some prevention. What is the meaning of prevention? Prevention means you can say that a precaution, early you can say that because of you can say that any natural call, you can take care, you will take care some precautions. Okay, you take care some, you can say that some points, on some point you take care of your family and your property. You can save a bit of your property and your family. Okay, and someone tells you about about any natural call. Okay, so what is flood? An overflow of large amount of water beyond its limits is called flood. Okay, and I told you that floods are really harmful and really destructive for human settlement areas and for the crops. After discussing the definition and a bit detail about floods, let's talk about the causes of flood. Well, guys, here are two causes. First is a natural cause. First type of causes are called natural causes, and the second type of causes are called man-made causes. First, natural causes, main causes are heavy rains and the melting snow because of any volcanic process, or because of any, volcanic eruption. And guys, because of the earthquake under the sea also causes floods. Okay, and guys, you can say that, melting water because of volcanic process, and guys, because of, earthquake under the sea can cause flood. Okay, and these are, causes of natural causes of flood. Okay, and guys, man-made causes are, you can say that, the river bank collapse, and guys, the problem in the banks of the rivers, and sometimes, humans are not capable to make enough strong, river banks, which causes floods. Okay, and guys, because of the, breach of dam, barrage, or any, you can say that, reservation evaporation of water. Okay, so as I told you that flood comes because of the human mistake as well, and because of the nature call as well. Okay, so here I have discussed the causes of flood. Let's move towards about the preventions of flood. Well, guys, as I told you that floods can be caused because of some natural activities and because of some human activities. Firstly, remember one thing, that you cannot stop the flood which comes because of natural activity. Okay, and guys, these floods are not stoppable, cannot be slowed, cannot be diverted. So, what you can do when the flood call is when the, for example, weather forecasters tells you that there are floods in upcoming 10 to 15 days. Okay, what you will do, definitely you will take care of few things, you will take some precaution, you will take some steps, you will take some measures which will help your family, your property, and your definitely animals if you have a cattle in this category. Okay, so what you will do, you will take some prevention. Prevention mean a step to take care of yourself, okay, and your family and your property. Well, guys, after discussing the causes, let's talk about preventions. Well, following are the preventions from floods. Firstly, we should plant more and more trees on the banks of the rivers. Okay, these are, you can say that, a very handful tip or prevention which we all can take to save the life of our dear ones, our family, or our society. Firstly, what you have to do, you have to plant the trees on the banks of the rivers. Okay, and guys, remember one thing, that the banks of the rivers should be made high and strong. That is very important. And guys, because of this human error, because humans sometimes are not capable to make strong and high banks of the rivers, and guys, because of this error, flood causes, and because of this error, you can say that the human settlement faces the great loss or great damage. Okay, so remember one thing, what you have to do first of all, we have to plant more trees on the banks of the river. Okay, second thing we can do, that the banks of the river should be made high and strong. Okay, because if the banks of the river will be high and strong, they can store maximum water, and they can stop the maximum water inside the river. Okay, what are banks? Banks are, or you can say that, the strong edges of the river. Okay, so when the edges are strong, water will never come out. Okay, but if the edges are not strong, definitely water will come in the areas of human settlement. Okay, guys, the fourth, or you can say that the most important prevention is that we have to make dams. Okay, because when you will store the rainwater and the extra water from the rivers, we will store inside the dams. What is this going to give us? This thing will give us lots of benefit. We can use that stored water for growing crops, for planting more trees, and for making electricity. Right now we are using the most expensive mean of electricity in our country, and which is very costly, and the middle class, and you can say that the lower class cannot bear the expense of electricity. Okay, so if you will store the rainwater and the river extra water inside the dams, or in the reservoirs, in the areas where we can store the water, we can use that water later on for very good purpose. Okay, so the next and the last most important prevention is dams and barrages should be built to store water. Okay, so when we will do that, we can become the prosper country and happy country. Okay, so the preventions which I told you, these were, we should plant more trees, banks of the river should be made high and strong, and guys, dams and barrages should be built to store water. Well, guys, when you will listen the lecture carefully, and when you will do whatever I said inside the lecture carefully, When you will listen all the points which I told you, you guys will be able to fill this part and this portion of the lecture. Okay, first of all, in this portion of the lecture, we'll talk about what is important in exam bank. Okay, few questions which are listed right now in front of you. These are very important in exam perspective. Okay, first of all, when you will play the video, when you will listen the lecture carefully, you will note down whatever I said inside the lecture. You guys will be able to fill this part of the lecture. Okay, firstly, when you will play the video, you will be capable to tell me what is disaster, what is a natural disaster, how many types of disasters are over there, and guys, what are man-made disasters, define floods, and what are the preventions from floods. And guys, don't forget to give the answer of this question: what are causes of floods? This portion exam bank can be the self-testing corner as well. Okay, when you will be able to answer these questions, you just keep in your mind that your lecture is properly done and you have understood everything which is explained in the lecture. Okay, take care of yourself, guys. Stay home, stay safe, and I will see you in your next assignment of the same lecture. Till then, take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz, bye bye. And remember one thing: do whatever you want to do, but do not trouble your mother.